Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach, and you're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up, we've got a good one between the Buffalo Bills and the Denver Broncos. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. Standing by to call the action,
Coach, we find ourselves at the foot of the Rockies, Denver, Colorado, for this edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Today, we're set for a good AFC matchup between the Buffalo Bills and the Denver Broncos. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Now a first carry for Derrick Henry. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and then hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, it was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
A first down carry for Henry. He's able to get 6. A nice pickup down to the 21.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
On second down, here's Allen. McKinnon here is complete. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it, they love it, because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sidelines thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well. His passing's been on point on this drive, hasn't it? Been very accurate, gotten the ball downfield, gained nice chunks of yardage, but now...
And this is caught for a Bills touchdown. Andre Holmes, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Bills take it all the way down the field and score on the opening drive. Hauschka with the extra point. Building confidence after a loss, that's a good way to do it. The loss last game, but first drive here in this one, cashing it in for 6.
And they can talk all they want about putting a loss behind them. I think that drive there did more than any conversation they had, don't you think?
That's exactly right. Puts that to bed. And this is what they said all week long. A lot of things they needed to do differently. But whatever they said appears to have worked. Here's Hauschka now to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. Orchestrating the offense will be Case Keenum, the 6'1 QB out of the University of Houston.
And what I loved about meeting with him before the game was talking to a guy who takes ownership of his performance. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions last week. but all he focused on was the loss, okay? And he did say, if I change my stats a little bit, not necessarily for me to look better, but that'll help my team.
First carry of the game here for Royce Freeman. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Let's talk about the starting lineup offensively for the Denver Broncos, and let's talk about Devontae Booker.
I always described him as a guy who ate carries in college, meaning just keep handing it to him, and he got better as the game went on. Had a knee injury his last year at Utah, comes in a little bit older than your average back, but boys, he's skilled and talented. And he emulates Emmitt Smith in one way. Loves to keep the ball in his left hand at all times.
And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up a touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the...
Back alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Bronco football to begin quarter number 2. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. They have to be thrilled with that first drive that got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he was able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
11 yards and a Buffalo first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. He'll pick up another first down with that run.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders. Hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or...
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
A really good pickup of 28 yards.
As a general rule, offensive linemen like to know where their quarterback's going to be when he's setting up to throw the football. But sometimes they just have to get on the run, get on the move. He was able to do that on that play and picks up a first down with a nice throw.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, and have them back on their heels.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. Something of a rare incompletion. Remember, Charles, last week under 50% throwing the football. That's what he was, but he has turned that around in this game.
But last week was commonly known as a fluke.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. Andre Holmes with his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Bills will extend their lead. So they've had 2 drives, and he's had the 2 receiving touchdowns.
And how about a game plan where you decide to force feed or feature someone, and it works? First 2 drives, as you noted, end up in touchdown passes. I think they're going to keep going to them until the defense makes any kind of an adjustment.
So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it ends in a Buffalo touchdown. Here's Hauschka now to kick it away. And you combine a big leg with a mile-high air, there's the outcome. This will sail out of the end zone for a touchback. And Denver getting set to take the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Back to Denver right after this. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. Here's Keenum now on second down. Sanders has it over the middle. Keenum to Sanders for the Denver first down. First down now, but that clock rolling. On first down, Keenum. This is Booker on the dump ball. Oh, now he bowls him over. They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. It's a gain of 7, and it'll make it second down. Working from the gun, Keenum. Drops it underneath for Booker. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It's a loss of 4. Now third down. Throwing is Keenum on third down. And he will have a man, Demaryius Thomas. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. A Bronco first down. Keenum hooking up with Thomas. Now Keenum looking for Sanders, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Ryan Shazier. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Yeah, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. 15 yards that time, and a Buffalo first. Allen now looks to throw. His throw incomplete. He was trying to get it to Zay Jones that time. And that'll bring up second down. That one doesn't find its target, but all in all, he's been much sharper this week. He was under 50% a week ago, and now he's up over 70%.
Well, you know it's standard for quarterbacks and receivers get together for a little extra time each and every day in practice. I get the sense they got together for a lot of extra time this week to try and improve that passing percentage, and it's worked out quite well.
He's going to float this one deep right side. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And a potential turning point as they'll get the football in very good field position late in this first half. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's hurt.
Booker coughs it up, and the Bills have recovered. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10. Here's Allen following the fumble recovery. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Allen will try again on 2nd down. Going to throw right side here, complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. And the timeout comes in with 2 seconds remaining. So they can trot out the field goal unit for the try before we hit the lockers. So we've reached halftime with the visiting Bills taking the lead to the locker room. As we send you on out to our studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Brandon, time for a sprint to the finish, as it's time to get you caught up with what's happening around the NFL here in a pivotal Week 15. We'll begin up north at MetLife Stadium over in New Jersey, where you see the final score there. Tyrod Taylor, 2 touchdown passes as his guys remain unbeaten. From there, we head to the Big Easy to check on the Saints at home in the Superdome. And for the moment, they find themselves trailing the visiting Carolina Panthers. Cam Newton's thrown a touchdown pass. Lastly, let's get to Pittsburgh. Check on the Steelers at home at Heinz Field. And things didn't work out so well as they fall to the visiting New England Patriots. Teddy Bridgewater.
Due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning of the 3rd quarter. Here's Hauschka now to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this 3rd quarter. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. It's Freeman, and he'll get this one up to the 26. Mario Edwards Jr. there to bring him down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Here's Keenum. And the Bills are going to get him as he goes down.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. Taking it about the 16. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Bills will take over the football with a 1st and 10. So here's the Bills offense now. They get ready for their first possession of the 2nd half. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Rolling to his right. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. A good pickup there, 26 yards. Well, there's your leading receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, putting on another clinic, well over 100 yards.
Are we taking notes? We should be, right? Because I'm going to go back and watch this tape and really enjoy what I'm seeing. The route running, competing for the football, just breaking down a defense. When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
And it'll be intercepted. It's Chris Harris with a pick. Just a little. Bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the second week in a row, he's throwing it
into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the safety, Kenny Vaccaro. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. He was trying to hit Thomas that time.
Well, Brandon, this is a former first-round pick, and he's been a bit of a disappointment in his career up till now, but he's still got room to grow. And this is an excellent play right here to come away with the football.
So after the INT, it's Allen. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Von Miller, he's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
I know there would be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and end up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. So they fake the handoff. Now Allen, flush to his right. Wide open receiver, complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
We talk about mobility on quarterbacks all the time. Here's where it really pays off. Able to move, evade, and is accurate throwing on the run and picking up a first down.
And that will be caught, but out of the end zone, says the field judge. It's ruled incomplete. He was trying to get it to Andre Holmes that time. And that'll bring up second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. It's the Bills with a lead and the football here to begin the fourth quarter. Well, they've been so good on third down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd and goal? Throwing now is Allen, eluding the pressure right, and almost intercepted. Would have been a huge pick in the end zone, but as it stands, that brings up 4th.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Buffalo. In for the score. And the Bills will add on to their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning, right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Hauschka now for the extra point. Hauschka adds the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Here's Hauschka now to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So the Broncos come back out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the #1 or #2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl,
nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But it looked like, fortunately, the Broncos able to recover.
on plays like this when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. The Broncos on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 19. A shotgun snap for Keenum. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. 6 yards on the pickup, and it'll be 4th down. Here's Marquette King now. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. This is taken at the 23. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Bills offense coming out, ready to take over. With this lead and the football, things obviously looking good, but maybe, you've taught me this before, maybe this is where the defense is hoping that the offense helps them preserve that shutout that they've got going.
And it has to be in the minds of the offense that they know how rare it is to get a shutout. So take care of them, protect them, take care of the ball, move it downfield, run the clock down. You don't want your defense to have to go on the field again the rest of the game. Reward them.
And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts. And
keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. Allen from the gun on 3rd down. It's caught. Jones. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 15 yards that time and a Buffalo first. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Bills football here as we get you reset. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. A give to Henry. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Again, it's Henry. And he's going to be brought down at about the 33-yard line. Call it an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. Starting to look like this drive, it may be the final nail in the coffin.
Well, this is why you work out so hard, right? This is why you spend all that time in the offseason. This is why you have those OTAs and minicamps. For these situations, these scenarios, to run someone into the ground and secure a victory.
12 yards that time and a Bills 1st down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
They go play action here on first down. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a third down.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything to warrant a flag.
No, I'm with you there. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Is it okay if I break one of our rules, partner, which is to never call a game over until it's over? Because this certainly feels like it's over after that drive.
Yeah, that was spirit-crushing, wasn't it? And now you just kind of felt the air go out of the balloon.
Yeah, they were fighting so hard to stay in there, and they knew they had to stop them on that drive. But when they were unable to, I think you're exactly right. You could see them sag on their sideline, and I think this one might just be over.
One final try now for Keenum. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. So, Charles, are able to complete what so often seems to be elusive, a shutout in the NFL. And maybe what's fitting is they ended the game on the field, that defensive unit on the field. What an exclamation mark.
And probably felt like they could go another 60 minutes without anyone putting points on the board against them. That's the confidence you gain throughout when you're pitching a shutout, and they're going to